good surround with these Mutalisks and these Roaches and Hydralisks, he could possibly take down this army. Looks like Taurent's going to try to take down this third expansion. Doesn't want Slush, the Zerg user, to get up too many bases on him. Protoss and Terran can usually take on a Zerg if they have one less base, but you really want to limit the number of bases Zerg is on. It's just more larva and more income for the big macro race the Zerg is. We have a few Stalkers coming in here for reinforcement, but they're all going to be taken down and caught. Slush kind of controlling the middle here. Now we'll see if these Phoenix and these Gateway units can do anything against these Mutas, Roaches, and Hydras. Looks like Slush did have a few Overlords taken down. Maybe it was the hatchery that put him below food. He did get a number of Overlords back up, so it's good to create units again. We see that Guardian Shield throw up, and now a number of force fields are going to keep the Roaches and Hydras at bay. Mutalisks are going to be able to fly right over there, but he does not want to move in yet with these Mutas until these Hydras and Roaches come down. I'd like to see more creep being spread. Again, not sure why we have so few queens, just 2 queens. Especially if we're using Roaches and Hydras, need more creep. Looks like we have good force fields here, keeping all these Roaches and Hydras in the back, split off. Mutalisks are being pulled back, so they're not going to be lost to these Stalkers. More force fields, keeping these Roaches at bay. Roaches with force range now can shoot through those force fields, but not as far back as where these Stalkers are. Phoenix are going to come in and pick off all of these Mutalisks. Does not look good for Slush. A number of Hydralisks being picked up by these Phoenix. These Stalkers just forcing fire down all these Roaches. A few more Hydralisks being picked up. And now Taurent should be able to move out with a few more of these units. These Immortals are countering Roaches nicely. If we look at the upgrades, Slush has 1 armor, 0 attack, and Taurent has 1/1. So Taurent in the advantage upgrade-wise. Looks like we have no more upgrades being worked on for Slush. He's just pushing out 5 Roaches at this point. Taurent is establishing this third base. It does not look good for Slush. He was just pushed back, lost most of his forces. Not sure why Taurent didn't push out here. Some more Phoenix doing scouting. This third base is going up for Slush, possibly a 4th base here. Taurent could take this gold expansion. I'm not sure why he took this one. Especially with the Mutas, it's going to be easier to guard this gold expansion closer to his other bases. Phoenix coming in doing more scouting. Could pick off an Overlord or 2. These Spine Crawlers are moved up to the front. Smart move by Slush. Any sort of battle that happens in the middle, he's going to have an advantage with these Spine Crawlers. This one is off creep. He needs to get an Overlord over here as it's quickly losing health. And it looks like he's going to respond to those Colossi with a number of Corruptors as well. He's got 13 Roaches in production, as well as the attack level 1. Looks like this Corruptor is going to come in and try to do some scouting. He's going to see all these Colossi, now up to 3 Colossi, 4 Colossi, a number of Stalkers and Immortals. So these Roaches are going to go down very quickly to those Immortals and Colossi. He's going to need to use these Corruptors very expertly to take down those Colossi. Both players meeting up, possibly for a big battle in the center here. Phoenix just pushing forward, poking those Overlords, going to try to push him back so there's no creep down when this battle happens. That low Spine Crawler, which had been losing life, goes down very quickly, and now a number of Overlords are going to be able to be picked off here by these Stalkers. Slush has no recourse for this. He's going to move in with these Roaches, a number of force fields, 1 force field so far. He needs to get a few more force fields up to push these Roaches and Hydras back. He needs to use these Colossi from range, pick off these Corruptors with the Stalkers. That's not happening right now. The Corruptors are taking down, all 7 of them, taking down these Colossi very quickly. These Hydras, no more Hydras, and just 1 or 2 more Roaches here. Are going to be able to take down these Stalkers perhaps. All the Colossi are down. This Corruptors did a great job, and now we're going to get a blink back with this Stalker. And it looks like Taurent's going to have to retreat here. Possibly should have been pushing out earlier, Those Corruptors were not up in time. He could have pushed out this first few Colossi, but now SLush has been able to react. He's going to get full map control again. He does have this fourth base he's going to do a transfer to right now, and he could possibly establish a fifth right here. Just going to pull back to these spine crawlers and mass up again. Army is 3,200, 2,100 at this point. We look at the income. Looks like Taurent does have an advantage of these three bases, but as soon as this gold gets going for SLush, he's going to have the advantage, as he's going to be on 4 bases, all mined out as his main, as is Taurent. Looks like Taurent's throwing up another few gateways, so he's going to have seven total. See a battle here. These Roaches are going to try to take down the one Colossi, do very quickly. Corruptors were able to help as well, and now these Roaches are going to push in for the kill. Have a few Immortals coming out, very good against Roaches, but if Taurent doesn't get his army count up quickly here, it could swing in SLush's favor. SLush is going to try to take down this expansion. Taurent's going to come from behind. Again, the gold expansion would have been much easier to defend, especially with these slow Roaches. So we're going to try to take some of these reinforcing Roaches out. Whenever you're defending, you want to make sure you position yourself between the attacking force and the reinforcements. You can sort of get in a pinch for a little bit, but you can sometimes pick off those reinforcements if they're just rallied right to the fight. As we see a number of Blink Stalkers come in, they should be able to clean up these Roaches. They could possibly start taking down a number of Corruptors as well, make Colossi a little more viable on the field. Not really sure why we don't have High Templar coming out. If the Colossi were countered by those Corruptors, I'd like to see the High Templar come out and throw some storms down on these Roaches and Hydras. Look at the production tab. SLush just still droning up, and we finally have the Templar archives being put up for Taurent, so he's reading my mind here. Also working on Zerg attacks level 2, so pretty soon these Roaches and Hydras will get even more powerful. Look at the unit tab. We got 4 Hydras, 34 Roaches, 6 Corruptors, 9 Stalkers, 5 Zealots, and 5 Immortals with 2 Sentries. So both players pretty even in the army count. 4,000, 3,100, but SLush should have the income advantage here. Looks like it's still even. And SLush moving out again. Do not yet have the Templar archives up. We do have the Templar archives up, and now finally Lightning being researched. So he needs to warp in a few of those Templars so that they have enough energy by the time that Lightning finishes. Looks like we're moving out with the Roaches now, going to try to get a bit of a surround on these Stalkers. You see these Roaches from behind are able to attack now finally. That new, larger range. These Immortals trying to focus down the Roaches. They should be able to do a good job of that, but there's just so many Hydralisks and Roaches. Hydras attack very quickly against those Immortals. Can bust through the shield quite quickly. Doing some long distance mining on the gold minerals, not sure why. Looks like we had Hydralisks in these probes, taking them down. And now a number of Roaches and these Corruptors should be engaging here. And Taurent has to GG. Not really sure why he GG'd there. If we look at the army tab, maybe he just thought he was overwhelmed on multiple fronts here. SLush was amassing another good army, but with all these gateways, he could possibly have warped in a few more units, though it does look like he was on very little income, now mined out at his natural, and he would have had to save this Nexus. I'm not sure that would have been possible with this force and SLush's reinforcements, so I guess a good time to GG there. Taurent was not as aggressive as we'd like to see in the second game. He could have taken the series right here if he moved out a little bit earlier. SLush was using mostly spine crawlers for defense at the start. So now SLush, who's the favorite in this series, evens it up 1-1 and is going to force a Game 3, which I will bring you shortly. Thanks for watching, and look forward to the next one.